I've been on YouTube for 5 years. And that might actually be really surprising considering the fact that when someone reaches 5 years, they expect progress and expect results of millions or thousands of subscribers. But as you can see, it's not the case, and I wanted to tell you my journey of coming to terms with the fact that numbers don't really matter, and why I keep continuing despite having so many lower subs. People might see the number that I have and say that it's a failure, and I respond with the most respectful fuck off of my entire 19-year existence. You see failure when I see progress. Doesn't matter how long the journey is, it only matters the distance and the willingness I take when pursuing this as a hobby and maybe even career. Anyways, I want to tell you every year that I spent on this YouTube channel, meaning that it's only really 4 years, and the extra year was just like this channel, and that channel doesn't really matter at this point. So I'm going to discuss the 4-year history. Alright, let's get into it. Year 1. A standard year for a channel like this. No views, no subs. This is when I started to make content, and I was into a lot of movies and movie reviews. And in fact, I'm actually working on a Daredevil project shortly after this. Anyways, I always told myself and gave myself the expectation that if I create one thing that might have the potential to be big, I would get everything I ever wanted. And sadly enough, that was the biggest pit of despair I've ever told myself. I was so addicted to the numbers that I convinced myself at one point that I didn't do it for the numbers, when that's exactly what I was trying to accomplish. I wanted a dream of me being known for something, which isn't bad, but it's bad when you forget why you started. You looked at this fun hobby where you could essentially do or say whatever you want, but eventually I kept asking myself, what was the point if I didn't gain anything from it? Which is normal human behavior, but at that time I never really reminded myself as much as I did that the views don't matter, the numbers don't matter, just focus on what makes you happy. And because of my obsession with numbers, it led me to watching my own videos to get the views up. So when there was ever a video with 0 views, during the time I started YouTube, I would just increase my views just because I wanted to see the numbers go up. It didn't matter to me that the views didn't count towards the algorithm. I was just pathetically views hungry. And the worst part was when my views were like, I don't know, anything at all, like 20 or 10 or whatever, my brother would congratulate me, not knowing that all of those views were me, no one else but just me. Sure, some of those videos were not fabricated at all, with me watching the videos like the OP ratios video and the SML videos, but it really opened my eyes to not faking my views and to not care as much for the views. And over the years, I've leaned more to the authentic side a little more. I've met a good friend that I've talked to for several months until we didn't, which is fine because, well, people live their own lives, and that's just how things go. And I'm, of course, referring to OP Ratios. He doesn't post anymore, but when he did, I was entertained, and his videos are really enjoyable, and I really enjoyed myself, which now leads to year 2. The beginning of year 2 was big in a way. I made a SML video, and it was with OP Ratios, of course, but I didn't fully had character development when it came to the numbers, so I slightly increased them by just watching until I was like, dude, what the fuck, man, this really has to stop. It's really strange how someone could just be so addicted to something until they just stop, and it never felt like it was a problem to begin with after you stopped. A few videos later, I made a gold mine. Max BT Show. Now, I won't be talking about him because, one, he will probably strike this video down or report it because I made this video. It was kind of funny. Then gone, obliterated, never seen ever again. Because of the rules when it came to children, and unfortunately that video violated the rules, and I can't even deny it. Back then when I found out the video was struck down by YouTube because of bullying, I kinda didn't accept it, but I can see why, because the video was so bad when it came to bad-mouthing this guy because of his age. If you know, then you know. After that day, I swore never to talk to or talk about minors ever again. Wait, that doesn't sound right. If I told you the drama step by step, you wouldn't believe me, because the history is probably erased because of most videos that are linked to this man that are a lot like mine. So it's probably best not to talk about it, like, at all. I mean, you can talk about it, but unless you didn't do it like me, where, if I can add a link in the description for the video that I made on him, you probably would have understood why it got terminated. Then after this could only be described as my experimental phase. At this point of my second year, I was just making shit. Story times, which I don't really do anymore. Chill experience videos. Burn it. I never want to do something like this ever again. It wasn't bad, but it fit more of the category of those shit posts that I made. I hate them simply because it was more of an excuse of me saying, oh, I'm not consistent, so I'm just gonna make something that, delay to my video and shit, and I'm sorry for not posting anything and blah, blah, blah. I hated it. You know it's so bad when your own cousin confronts you about it during your trip to another country and say, yo, what you did with the whole apology shit was kind of dog shit, man. Like, the whole apology shit. And I completely agreed. But at that point, I thought of it like, I need to be honest with my audience, not considering the fact that community posts exist, which I now use now, and not many people go on community posts, so if you want, I could put some maybe interesting things on community posts, who knows. Anyways, at one point I was just like, bro, you could be consistent by being consistent, which I did not completely learn in year 2, but it was a work in progress. Now it's time to transition year 3. This was the year that I got DaVinci Resolve, the new editing software for my laptop, and it was a gift, but eventually became a curse. And I'll discuss more about this curse in year 4. In year 3, I started strong with the video ideas. Some video ideas were straight up heat. Now, if you're interested in these videos, I'll have a link in the description because, holy monkey? Why is my script like this? Why is autocorrect like this? Correct the right shit, you worthless bastard! Sorry about that, I got a little off topic. Anyways, I had so much fun making YouTube videos back then, way more than I do now, before I was like, yeah, next video! And the script was done for like a day, and now I'm trying to regain my former glory because my burnout that's really plaguing my upload schedule. This was also the year that I really got into Bloodborne. I really loved the game. I even played it 2 months back. It really got me into the Souls genre and got me into Liza P. The video you will never see for a while. Creativity really spiked back then. Before I made a room with my uncles that really screwed up my schedule. So anyways, creativity, good videos, my everlasting hatred for shorts, and yada 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 year 4. Here it is, the final year. It's more like the year of ongoing reflection. One of those I noticed over the years is being influenced by other people's opinions. It felt like I didn't really have my own, and that's when I realized that it's better if I try to consume before making an opinion on it, because it's really a problem that I need to work on. Alright, let me describe to you the curse of this editing software. I don't know if talking about this will make it worse or not, but I'll make it short if it does. My editing software this year has been screwing me constantly. In the rendering process, it crashes, so each time I need to render my video, it needs to be rendered to the slowest render, and now it has to render for 2 hours straight. But for this video, it's probably going to render for 4 hours. And I noticed that if I keep talking about this, then it's going to just keep doing this. Alright, so I can't make any other big videos like 20 minutes because it can't handle it. Alright, yeah, if I talk anymore, then this is gonna get worse. 4-year history. The 4-year history of this channel, well, this has been a great journey so far, and it might actually take a while for me to make something like this again, considering the fact that I might post something like this, hopefully in a 10th year history video of this channel, if it ever came down to it. And, well, it's been an honor to work on YouTube videos, and all I hope for this is better tomorrow, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe for more content, and yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Bye.